Hi guys, welcome to take 2 of the antibody word of the day video. I made one and it was way too long, so I'm setting a timer for 5 minutes and I'm going to do this in 5 minutes or less. Alright, so antibody. This is a noun. The plural is antibodies. You've probably heard this word recently because it's been all over the news. What it means, what an antibody is a protein produced in the blood or tissues in response to the presence of a specific toxin, foreign blood cell, or other antigen. So when your body senses that there's something inside you that doesn't belong there, the antibodies are created as a response. Antibodies provide immunity against certain microorganisms and toxins by binding with them and often by deactivating them. So an antibody is shaped like a Y. And what it does is it will attach to the foreign germ or virus. It attaches to it, tries to take its energy, tries to deactivate it. Now, connections to antibody. You have probably heard the word antibody lately because it is very relevant to coronavirus. Some synonyms for antibody are antigen, immunizer, and vaccine. So vaccines typically, I don't make vaccines, so I shouldn't say typically, but vaccines often contain antibodies of a virus. The opposite antonyms are germ, bug, virus. All right, connections to our curriculum. So this is definitely clearly a science word, but right now, because we're in virtual school due to a viral pandemic, and this word is important because we hear it in the news because people who have developed antibodies may be immune to the virus. And so they're studying antibodies to work on a vaccine. And if they have a vaccine, maybe we can go back to school. We can also use this pandemic as an analogy, yesterday's word, to help us make connections to our reading. So I was thinking about the Odyssey and how we could use antibodies as an analogy. And so in the last part of book 5 that we're going to read today, Calypso is going to tell Odysseus, if you could see the troubles ahead of you, you wouldn't leave. You'd stay here and let me protect you. And Odysseus says, I've already been through so much. I can withstand this. So it's almost like he's saying, I've been to war. I've already traveled across the ocean. I've already dealt with this and that. And I have developed antibodies so that, I've already overcome these great obstacles. So next time I encounter obstacles, I already have some kind of defense against them. It's almost as if he has developed antibodies that will make him stronger. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is this common phrase, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. This makes me think of your immune system and how, if you have a virus and your body fights it off, then you usually are able to fight it off stronger in the future. And I also found this funny little picture of a mouse who didn't get killed by the mousetrap, but is using it to bulk up. You go, mouse. All right, STEAM connections. Obviously, this is a STEAMy scientific term, but you'll also hear this in the news, and I bet that in the next year or so, we'll start hearing this word in art. Maybe there'll be songs with it because it's such a current term. This word's going to blow up, trending. This is a little science diagram of these are the antibodies attaching to this is a cancer cell. And then they send signals to the immune system and white blood cells come and attack the cancer cell. All right. Last thing, examples. Okay, so I have some literal and some figurative examples for you. So these are literally just some screenshots that I took this summer of different articles around the internet from the CDC's website. Antibody testing interim guidelines. So they were talking about who should be tested for the antibody for coronavirus. Study finds nearly everyone who recovers from COVID-19 makes coronavirus antibodies. So this is if someone thinks they had coronavirus, they could take a test and it will show if they have the antibodies, then they know they had it. And then the value of antibody testing. And that was just another example of an article. And then I have a figurative example. I wrote a simile. Ooh, okay. I can finish in 30 seconds. I wrote a simile. So this is a type of analogy. I don't know how many of you guys were able to participate in the Black Lives Matter rally we held on Hosea. This is at Hosea and 2nd. I think this was back in June. Anyway, so I wrote a simile. Lining up and down Hosea with signs of support, the protesters acted as antibodies to protect the community from racism and white supremacy. So this was taken during when we kneeled for 8 minutes. But, even if you think of a protester holding a sign, it's kind of Y-shaped, like you're holding your sign and you're shouting. So protesters are, in a sense, like acting like antibodies to protect the community. All right, that was much shorter this time. Word of the day, antibody. I hope you felt your mind expanding. Hooray!